Kill the headlights and put it in neutral. Good evening, kings and queens. How are you all doing this evening? It is good to see you. It is good to be seen by you. I am Bill Sylvie, a.k.a. the Dungeon Delver, and I hope you're having an absolutely splendiferous evening, because I know I am. King on the Mountain, greetings. Greetings to all you guys. A dozen people waiting, and now it's less. But it must be YouTube tomfoolery. I am calling shenanigans on YouTube. Right then, right there. Grandpa Ty, good to see you. Hello, hello. We're going to be playing some Gamma World at 9 o'clock tonight. That's right. We're going to be classic Gamma Worlding our way through the wasteland. We're going to find out what our adventurers have gotten to go through. Mark Most. Mark, are you the most? I mean, as of right now, you are the most, Mark, here. Honestly, it's your game to lose, my friend. Vitra, greetings, greetings. Good to see you. Damien just had to replace your right front brake calipers. Brother, I feel you. I feel you. I have had to do brakes, my friend. It sucks, getting out there. You gotta, wheel comes off. You gotta take the disc off. You gotta swing that caliper out of the way. You gotta compress the caliper. Was it just the caliper, or did the caliper bracket have to go with it? But otherwise, new caliper brackets gotta go on. Then you got to bleed it. Now, question, did you bench bleed your caliper? Or did you just bleed the whole system again? But regardless, it's not fun. It's not fun. You have my condolences. I'm not sure where you're at, Damien, if you're down south or up north or out west, but odds are it's cold where you were. And that always sucks, because either do it outside in the freezing cold, or you try and get your vehicle into your garage. And if your garage is like most garages, it's, packed full of stuff, because you never think, I got to use this to work on my car. So again, many condolences to you, Damien. That is hard. I'm sorry. So we had kind of an interesting week, sort of fun, sort of up and down. Talked about some things. I read a little bit of Ogre, a little bit of Battlesuit to you guys. Not precisely deep dives, very shallow dips. But we had some fun, did we not? And now it's Friday. And again, come 9 o'clock, got some Gamma World happening, and I'm looking forward to that. And I know you guys are too. But what else is going on? Next week, next Thursday, we're going to have a guest. That's right. That is right. Just open up my email. But we are having... Let me see here. Let me get the details up here. Stephen Radney McFarlane, formerly of Wizards, now with Gripner Games. They're going to be here talking about, he is going to be here talking about Glimmering, The Glimmering, a campaign game setting, sort of a stripped down, lean, mean, easy to play version of 5th edition. Super chat me and I'll answer that question, Volcano. You paid the professional. Damien, I feel you. To be completely honest with you, greetings, Light Main. Clanner Jake, I hope the power stays on for you as well, brother. Lux Armok, behold. But anyway, no, dude, I can do breaks, all right? I can, if push came to shove, I could fix most problems. I mean, the Volkswagen, may it rest in pieces, may it rust in pieces. The stuff I did on the Volkswagen, replaced all 4 brakes, replaced the coil packs multiple times, replaced the serpentine belt, replaced the camshaft speed sensor. I should point out that the rear brakes were done with the help of Doomsword Deathmaster. I could not have got it done without I don't just mean he said, here's a bunch of money, Bill. I mean, he came over here and we busted knuckles. We spent the better part of a morning tearing those brakes apart and getting new brakes on. And that was that was really super duper helpful. And he bought the rotors and the pads. At least I think he bought a lot of the parts. I feel like he bought most of the parts. And so it's brakes are not a fun job, but I can do it. I can do it as long as I don't have to bleed them, as long as it's not like new caliper and stuff like that. I even have a little tool that you put inside the caliper to compress the caliper piston, so you can slip it onto the wheel. So I have all the toys for doing brakes. I just don't like to do it. And if I have the money to pay a professional, yeah. And sometimes there's just stuff that just doesn't work. Clanner Jake, replace the brakes on 4 different cars and whole rear end and an intake system and multiple pulleys to the point that I can put them back on without detensioning the pulley arm. Awesome. That is very awesome. I salute your automotive brilliance. I was quite the little grease monkey when I was a kid, when I was growing up. Went to a combat ranch. I used one of those guns that shot paint. Must seem pretty silly to you, huh? Yeah. Little code talk between Volcano and myself. Shout out to Volcano God and his lady both. We had just a fine old time today. Had dinner at a lovely restaurant, not on the St. John's, a couple of blocks away from the St. John's. A few drinks and just a wonderful time, and it was lovely to see them both. Die Hard Road March got it and won. That's right, Die Hard. Love us some Die Hard. So, as I said, next week we have a guest on, which means you guys need to be on your best behavior. That will be Stephen Radney McFarlane from Gripner Games. And the following week, I will have author, physicist, all-around swell guy, Timothy Imholt will be on the show. Software kind of guy, but Timothy has written a novel about World War III. And if you guys remember, we've had a similar interest in the show before, because back when we had Michael C. on, Michael was on, and he was fun to talk to. But Timothy Imholt will be here. He has written a similar novel, because it's hard to say that I like post-apocalypse games, and yet I do. So Aftermath, Twilight 2000, Morrow Project, and yes, even Gamma World. You'll have to super chat me, Smarmar. You ask the hard questions. You ask the difficult questions. Require a lot of thought and special attention. Finally watched Die Hard, the theatrical release. They trimmed that. They did, Clanner Jake. They certainly did. Let me tell you what. If you've never seen them before, if you've only ever seen Die Hard and Die Hard 2, if you are not familiar, that's right. I'm one of those things that's got the dollar slot in the front. You got to slide a whole bill in there. If you are not familiar with the oeuvre of John Woo, if you have not seen A Better Tomorrow or Hard Boiled or A Bullet in the Head, there's a number of Hong Kong action films that he made in the heroic bloodshed drama. Get good and watch A Better Tomorrow and Hard Boiled. Now, A Better Tomorrow 2 is a little, I don't think it's as good. Once a Thief is okay, like a peep show. Do you want a peep show, Road March? But A Better Tomorrow 2 is, and Once a Thief, I don't think are as good as Hard Boiled, or A Better Tomorrow. But they're still okay. They're still okay. Anyway, the answer to Smarmar's question is, well, what level is Wong Lee? Let me ask you that. Do I accept MasterCard? Stacy wants my shirt. She wants my Beastie Boys shirt. She cannot have my Beastie Boys shirt. I thought you guys got me this Beastie Boys shirt, or was this Christina? If you're asking sincerely, Grandputty, you'd have to go through YouTube. Well, first you'd have to click the super chat, and then it would say, "Oh, okay. Well, you need to sign up, and you need to." But yeah, I mean, you pay super chats with a debit card or a Visa card. I am not putting the screws to you and saying you need to pay me anytime. No, you can't. You can't have my Beastie Boy shirt, and you can't have my Magnum PI Hawaiian shirt. I'm sorry. Oh, that's Stacy. Okay, you're not bit. That's fine. That's fine. No. I don't rake anyone over the coals for supers. If people do it, that's very nice, and I warmly and gratefully accept supers. I have not. No, I have not seen Last Hurrah for Chivalry. It's one of those. It's been in the back of my mind, but I haven't seen it. I mean, personally, okay, my opinion, I think The Replacement Killers is a vastly underrated movie with Chow Yun-fat in it, very much in that it is a Hong Kong action theater flick by Antoine Fuqua, but very strongly influenced by John Woo. I think John Woo executive produced it. And everybody tells me that you know, oh, Hard Target. Yeah, John Woo directed Hard Target. It's so awesome. And they're talking about a movie, or was it Hard to Kill? Hard Target or Hard to Kill? I can't remember, but it was a John Woo directed film with Jean-Claude Van Damme. And I remember telling my friends, because I had seen, like, they ran, I don't even remember where it was, but I saw Hard Boiled and was like, freaking A. Oh, and The Killer. The Killer, of course. Thank you, Ardu. Thank you so much. The Killer, A Better Tomorrow, Hard Boiled. There's your holy trinity of John Woo Hong Kong action theater, heroic bloodshed films that I heartily recommend that you see. But anyway, everybody was like, oh, Hard Target, you know, I know John Woo, Hard Target. And I'd sit him down and I showed, like, the first 15 minutes, the tea house shootout in Hard Boiled. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch it on YouTube after the show tonight and you'll be like, whoa. Detour is a good one. Mark Morrison, A Bridge Too Far. Oh yeah, that's, you want to talk about classic war movies. There is a scene, and I don't know if it's repeated in A Bridge Too Far, but this, I was like actually very surprised to find out, to like read about this incident from multiple historians and authors. Was Bridge Too Far black? I don't think it was. I think Bridge Too Far was in color. But there could have been another one. I'm getting messages. Hang on a second. But anyway, I got distracted. Sorry. Yeah, Bridge Too Far, Operation Market Garden. But anyway, someone was telling me about, I of course watched A Band of Brothers, and if you haven't seen Band of Brothers, please check it out. It is, I would say, in the broad view, it's probably 90% historically accurate. Now there are people like who've watched it and have said that's a post-war production Garand. That model of Garand didn't come around till 46 or 47. You see how the strap lug for the rifle for the shoulder strap is 3 inches down and not 2 3/4, and I'm like, no. But that's like just impossible to really, for a casual viewer, because they get all the broad strokes correct. But there's a scene in Band of Brothers during Operation Market Garden when the 101st is there. The 101st, they're like, they can see a Panzer. I can't remember. I can't remember if it's a Tiger or no. It's not a Tiger. Is it a Leopard or a Panther rather? It may have been a Panther, but it's sitting. It's sitting in a perfect ambush position. Easy Company can see this guy in an ambush position. And Dick Winters climbs up on top of a Cromwell tank, knocks on the hatch, gets the commander's attention, and he says, on the other side of that house, around that corner, is a Panther tank. And the British commander, he can load AP, crank his turret left, and start shooting through the house to nail the tank. And he looks at Damian Lewis, who's playing Richard D. Winters, and he says, we're under orders to minimize damage to buildings. I don't have permission to shoot through that building. And so they climb off, they get under cover, they watch they watch the Shermans and the Cromwell roll forward, bang, bang, bang. 3 tanks destroyed in short order. And I was like, that's a pretty intense scene, and it probably happened. I was talking to a friend of mine who was not like, oh God, no spoilers, don't tell me anything. He intended to watch Band of Brothers. He had read so much stuff about the Second World War. I start telling him about this, and he's like, that actually happened. And like, he already knew all about the incident. It was like written up. And it's a very it's a very fascinating thing to see that play out. How many people here, since we're talking historical World War II movies, how many people here have seen Battleground? Now, if you don't know what Battleground is, it is about glider Airborne fighting in the Battle of the Bulge. And that is another example of multiple sources telling the same story. If you've seen Band of Brothers, of course, you know that there were 2 Belgian nurses in Bastogne. One of them was killed by German artillery. You actually see that the same people are in Battleground. It unfolds a little differently. Drone Swarm, I think it's Sam Fuller, but don't quote me on that. Yeah, and Jake, the 76 millimeter HVAP from Firefly Shermans from Easy 8s could do the same thing to German tanks. That Drone Swarm, that sounds right, but watch Battleground. It is very good, and it shows an aspect of the Battle of Bastogne that you might not have seen. And it is like, it's interesting because there were a lot of World War II movies after World War II were not terribly popular. People just thought that the veterans should just, we won the war. What more do we need to know? Danny H, greetings. One of the better Hollywood hack directors, William Wellman. Okay. But so Battleground had a hard time getting funding, and some of the winter scenes were shot in a state park. They were guerrilla filmed. They didn't get permission to go up there and do it. They didn't tell anybody they were doing it. They just went out there, set up the cameras, filmed as much stuff as they could, and then, they packed up and left. But when it finally came out, they had a lot of veterans playing extras. So they knew just what to do. It was easier back then to get props because you could literally $10 a piece. You could buy Garands. You could buy demilled Garand rifles and refit them to fire blanks for your combat scenes. Jeeps, you need a Sherman tank, buy one from a scrapyard, So they basically did that. They combined it with a good use of stock footage in places, and it is an absolutely fantastic World War II movie. They don't shy away from the ugliness of combat and war. They don't get morally gray for the most part. They show a little bit of U.S. soldier malingering, but it does come back to bite them. But it is a phenomenal little movie, and I do recommend it. If you want to watch something to inspire you to do historical miniatures and game out a Battle of the Bulge scenario, not just, okay, I've watched Band of Brothers, I know what to do. Watch Battleground. And what was interesting about this is it took this battle, the Battle of the Bulge. Glider infantry were organized on the TOE under Airborne. They were considered airborne troops. They were not paid the same combat hazard pay as airborne troops. They were not awarded, they were not considered for the same awards that airborne troops were. After the Battle of the Bulge, because out on the left line of 101st Para Infantry were the glider infantry companies. And they fought just as hard as Easy Company. They fought just as hard as everybody else. Well, that's okay, Grandputty. I mean, you like what you like. I've heard good things about All Quiet on the Western Front. The 1979 All Quiet on the Western Front is quite good. It's one of those things that really, every adaptation of it is good. The original from the 30s, the ending will freeze your blood cold. Love All Quiet on the Western Front from the 30s. The one from 79, all-star cast. There's a bunch of people that, like, you're like, holy crap, is that person's, like Ian Holm, who's in it. He was coming off of his big success as the malevolent android Ash in Alien, is in it. Richard Thomas is in it. He played John Boy on the Waltons at that point. Donald Pleasance is in it. It is literally, quite literally, a star-studded cast for the day. And it carries the book exceptionally well. And now I've heard great things about the Netflix miniseries, which I want to catch. I do want to catch. I've heard about Combat with Vic Morrow, but I have never seen it. 84 Charlie Mopic. It's free on YouTube. I'll have to check it out. I tell you, a really kind of, it's heartbreaking, but I think it shows kind of an aspect of our involvement over there in Vietnam that should have gotten a little bit more focus. It's called Don't Cry, It's Only Thunder. I recommend that. But to the matter of warfare and whatnot, it is good that war is terrible. As the quote goes, it is good that war is terrible, or we would forget and practice it too often. Greetings, John Walker. How are you? Panzerblitzen squad leader. I have Panzerblitzen squad leader somewhere around the house. I think they're on a shelf. They belonged to my father-in-law. He gifted them to me when I first met my wife's girlfriend at the time. They had they were early adopters of the cubes, the bookshelf. You just stack cubes and put your books in them. And this thing, I swear, it was like, I think you needed a ladder to get to the top cubes, but a vast, huge amount of them were all Avalon Hill and 3M bookcase games. And we got a great many of them. He got to where he didn't play them anymore. And so he has gifted them to us. And now I have a bunch of them. Well, drive safe, RPG Grandma. Combat played against Wagon Train. Did I have I ever read the Avalon Hill? I'm pretty sure, I'm like 99.9% sure I have read the Avalon Hill, the review of Dungeons and Dragons in the general. Let me see. Let me see here. Hopefully this will come up. Would you guys like to hear that? What Avalon Hill thought of Dungeons and Dragons back in the day? This is from Arnold Hendrick, who, by the way, if you played a lot of flight and other combat sims back in the 80s on your 8-bit micro, that's the same Arnold Hendrick. All right, well, Danny wants to hear it at least. So I'll share the URL here. You guys want to follow along? Check that out. Rules Review by Arnold Hendrick. Dungeons and Dragons by Gary Gygax and Dave Arneson. 3 softcover volumes totaling 112 pages with 5 chart sheets available from Tactical Studies Ruled 542 Sage Street, Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, 53147 for $10. Subtitled Rules for Fantastic Medieval War Games Campaigns Playable with Paper and Pencil and Miniature Figures, these booklets attempt to outline a system for playing the kind of fantasy adventures one previously read about in paperbacks. The concept is remarkably interesting, since the same person interested in matching himself against Napoleon or Manstein might also find comparisons with Conan or John Carter enjoyable. The game is played by various adventurers and a referee. The players, starting in near total ignorance, attempt to adventure in the wilderness around them or in dungeons and underground chambers beneath them. The referee is informed of each action, and after consulting the maps he has made, the basic tables and information in the booklets, and his own imagination, gives the players each a response. Those who remember Korn's Modern Warfare in Miniature will see the parallel, although Korn's rules were much more tightly constructed. Here, introductions are made into many possible areas of interest. Finance. Matt, I love that the first one is finance. Finance. We need to let him know. Finance. Magic, fighting ability, language, and monsters of every type and description, from goblins, orcs, giants, and dragons to more esoteric manticores, chimeras, wyverns, and the Hollywood mummies, purple worms, green slime, gray ooze, and black pudding. Vastly too much has been attempted in these booklets with very little detail, explanation, or procedures. For personal combat, chainmail is referred to, but the multiple damage characteristics of characters in this game does not fit with a life or death struggle in chainmail, and neither gives a clue for the effect of missile fire, save perhaps the firer's normal ability is extended up to the range of the missile weapon, with restriction and special options as allowed in the multi-figure section of the chainmail rules. The resulting mess is interpretations is enough to tax the patience of most gamers to the extreme. Worse, personal combat is the area receiving the most attention. Things go downhill from there. Ouch. Now this next paragraph, this cracks me up. Play in person is usually impossible, since the referee can only show the adventurer the terrain he is crossing at that instant, plus whatever is in his sight. Only large battles are suitable for the tabletop. The optimum solution seems to be play by phone, or when distances are too great, play by mail. For those without gasoline to visit their fellow wargamers or without a car, Dungeons & Dragons can be very, very interesting indeed. For example, in a test adventure recently conducted, Acolyte Dorne from the village of Thane ventured into the ruins of Takator, opting for an underground dungeon adventure instead of an above-ground wilderness expedition. After finding numerous doors beyond his strength to move, he finally opened one that woke 4 ghouls who charged him directly. The well-equipped Dorne, with mail, shield, spear, and crossbow, was allowed to fire by the kindly referee and then strike first with his spear. Being rather handy with weapons and things, Dorne neatly felled 2 of the ghouls, but was then touched by the 3rd, a circumstance which petrified him, while the ghouls proceeded to kill him, thus turning Dorne into a ghoul. So much for the Acolyte Dorne. Better luck in the next life. Beyond the problems involved in play, find an intrepid referee, the other discouraging factor is price. These booklets are roughly comparable to The Courier in physical quality, but at $3.50 each are priced rather high. Worse, all 3 are necessary. Graphics, considering the format, are decent, with some excellent illustrations, but space could have been saved without compromising appearance. In general, the concept and imagination involved is stunning. However, much more work, refinement, and especially regulation and simplification is necessary before the game is manageable. The scope is just too grand, while the referee is expected to do too much in relation to the players. If you need ideas to help you along in your own fantasy adventure game, these booklets will be of use. Otherwise, your $10 will be wasted. I do not suggest these to the average wargamer. Scathing words from Arnold Hendrick. Game purist, yes, they were around even back then. Fantasy Grounds Unity has line of sight lighting and fog of war. Yep. Next Life Dorne Reborn. I might have to throw Dorne into my own games. Have the characters bump into a cleric named Dorne. Or no, a ghoul that just barely remembers enough of its own life. Dorne, Dorne, Dorne. That guy did not sound happy. I spent $10 on this. A lot of classic D&D rules made a lot more sense when I learned D&D was also meant to be played in the off time you weren't at the table. Yeah, a lot of people did it like that. It is very salty, Mark. It is exceptionally salty. People get salty and upset over the simplest things. You know? Hey, use your imagination. Oh, why? I never. Hey, let's discuss this in another Discord channel. How dare you? The less I say about that, the better. He just did not feel the zeitgeist. Yep. It does. Hodorn. Yes. He is Hodorn. But, hey, listen, before we get too deep into it tonight, I'd like to remind you guys, of course, that this live stream is brought to you by our friends at Hellebarde Games. Hellebarde Games makes the kind of modules that they'd like to play. Whether for 5th edition, Castles and Crusades, or OSR, Old School is in play at the table, and you can check them out at their website at hellebardegames.com, or you can find them on DriveThruRPG. That's Hellebarde Games. We love us some Hellebarde Games. A lot of Frazetta and Bean Books Conan sales back then. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I just always thought that was an exceptionally salty. Hey, Orbital Air, good to see you. That was salty. I mean, you know, I think it's telling that Avalon Hill, although they never quite broke away from Chit and Hex war games, they did start delving into fantasy gaming. Wizards, something or the other. You know, I had a lot of fun once over at a friend's house. He had every issue of Heavy Metal up to that point. This was in like 89. And I sat down on his bed. I was like, hey, can I look through your Heavy Metal collection? He's like, absolutely, you know, just to have a little bit of care. And I started reading, and this was like on a Saturday afternoon. And I didn't realize it, but he walks back into the room and goes, did you come back, or are you still here? And I don't even remember what issue I was on at that point, but I was up into the 80s by then. And I just kind of rubbed my eyes, and I was like, I mean, I'm still here. And I look out his window, and it's night. It was night. Vitra, do I think WotC will ever release the 4E Dungeons and Dragons to the Creative Commons or for sale in Fantasy Grounds? Okay, so I'm of two minds about that. Yeah, Heavy Metal wasn't allowed in the house when I was an adolescent. Marvel's Epic Illustrated, which was like on the sexy scale, if Heavy Metal, like if pornographic magazines, Playboy, Penthouse, Hustler, were 10s, although I would say Penthouse and Hustler were a 10, and Playboy was probably like a 9.95. Heavy Metal was a 7, but Epic Illustrated was really more like a 5, like a 5.5. So yeah, Road March. That's to say, I agree with you. Anyway, Vidra, I'm gonna put your TSR did use outdoor survival, just the map, not the rules. Do I think WotC will ever release the 4E Dungeons and Dragons to the Creative Commons? So here's what Kyle What's-His-Face said, that they are looking at putting older editions of the rules under the Creative Commons. Now, does that mean, I mean, literally, if you say older editions and you're going to do it, the older edition in question would be 4th edition. So, yes, but. The is you, as it were, comes with they are looking at. And it might just stop at 4th under Creative Commons. They might just, yeah, okay. And not go back any further. I was excited when I heard Wizards of the Coast was talking about putting classic D&D under Creative Commons. What they think of as classic D&D or at older versions of D&D, out of print D&D, and what we old schoolers think of it, I could be very different things. They could just mean, look, we mean 3.5 and 4th edition, fans of 3.0, 2nd edition AD&D, 1st edition AD&D, rules compendium, BECMI, basic expert, Mentor, basic expert, Moldvay Cook, and introductory Holmes and original D&D. You guys can just go jump. We're not putting that under Creative Commons. So it remains to be seen. First of all, we'd like to what does we like, you know, I'd like to build a pyramid out of gold bricks, you know. I'd like to flap my arms and fly to the sun and pass harmlessly through it and explore all of its mysteries and come out the other side and tell you guys wild tales of it. I'd like to have a ship that could go faster than the speed of light. I'd like to live forever. So what does we'd like to mean in that? His proviso, there would have to be a full reinstatement, there would have to be a restatement of the rules so it fits the SRD. 3.5 was probably what he was referring to. Yes, Mark, I concur. Fuchsia asks, critical hit charts. Don't use them for Dungeons and Dragons. There are other games, good games. I like Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, first edition has great critical hit charts. So does Rollmaster. AD&D, I want a different vibe out of AD&D. You know, it's kind of a different thing. You want different stuff for different stuff. It's like somebody asked me, like, "Ooh, wouldn't it be fun to do BattleTech with the silhouette system, the heavy gear rules?" No, they're different. They're different things. Anyway, Fuchsia says, listen to the video about weak male characters, mentioned to a coworker. He said, WotC is woke, and that ruined everything, but then our boss made us do work. What is woke? Okay, so in this context, it means that they're putting what they think are socially aware agendas before quality. In the negative context that he is probably referring to it, like, it's not important that, you know, this character can accomplish these things. It's important that this character ticks off these check boxes first, or that because this character is a certain way in the game that they are never faced with any penalties, so on and etc. I hope that answers your question, Fuchsia. Now, speaking of the digital tabletop, this is very interesting, and I'll have to find. I will have to find the issue of Dragon Magazine. It is one of the earliest issues ever of Dragon Magazine, and there's a little help wanted ad from TSR. They are looking for someone to someone who's proficient in basic programming language to work with them to write software for Dungeons and Dragons. Way back in the 1970s, there was a digital initiative. I think that's... Now, I don't think back then they were like, well, you know, you won't actually play at the table. Road March. 4th, yeah. I asked ChatGPT to write me a text adventure in 4th. It did a pretty good job. I don't have a 4th compiler, but everything looked right. Fuchsia, I guess that's probably a good way to put it. And, you know, there's another side of the argument that says, you know, it's making room for traditionally marginalized people who've been kept out of the hobby to come in and enjoy and have fun. I've never done that, ever. I will fight someone who says I'm going to exclude that person because they're a woman. I'm going to exclude that person because they're not straight. I'm going to exclude that person because of their skin color. Like, I will get hostile with someone who tries to do that. The gate you should keep is, do you truly want to play Dungeons and Dragons and enjoy all the cool stuff in the game? Like, set all your agendas aside and come in if the answer is yes. Go learn stuff, RPG Grandma. We'll see you around. Lurker says, I've used Forth for years. So I remember when I was a kid, I went to Zares. At this time, the only the computer I had was a Commodore VIC 20, and it the VIC, when you power it on, has 1.9 kilobytes of RAM free. I did not misspeak. That is not an error. Not 19 kilobytes. Not 91. Not 9.1. 1.9 kilobytes of RAM free. The only way I could make my computer do a thing was to write code. I had to teach myself how to program in BASIC. It's the only thing I can really program in much as a kid, or as an adult rather, from when I was a kid. And we went to Zares, and I saw a box that was like 32K memory expander from Human Engineered Software, and I was over the moon. Bought it like $10.99 or something. This is like, everybody had gotten like into Apple IIes and stuff like this. The VIC was way too long in the tooth. But if you expanded it, like if you ran VIC 40, which gave you a 40 column display instead of the VIC's terrible 22 column display, and then you had like a memory expander. You had a computer that on the face of it was at least almost as capable as a Commodore 64, but those memory expansions cost almost as much as a C64 by themselves, or at least so it seemed to me. So when I saw one for like $10.99, 32K, I was like, yoink. So I get home, I open the box. I didn't even look at the cartridge. VIC 20 cartridge is about that long, about that high, about that thick. Pop it in, power my VIC 20 on. Get ready. Screen comes up. It was VIC Forth by Human Engineered Software. It was rather than loading BASIC, it loaded Forth. And it still only had 1.9. Well, like 2 point something. I don't know what it was, but the Forth interpreter loaded rather than the BASIC interpreter. That was it. I look at the box. There's a Forth manual inside, and I was like, son of a beasting. And I said, well, I got what I got. Mark Morrison, thank you for the super. Mark says, next time I wear the Magnum PI shirt, I need to play the 1980 intro before I start. Yeah, but I'll get copyright struck. I can't. Jeremy, can you help a fellow out with some copyright issues here? You know, a little financial backing to kind of get me out of the situation. But thank you, Mark. Thank you. I can hum it. If I did this on Twitch, it would get picked up and the video would get flagged and shut down. Down, 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 there you go. Little bit of the Magnum PI opening theme, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. Jeremy loves Mark's comment. Well, that's nice. Thank you, Jeremy. I love you too. It's a very nice. I mean, it might count as parody, but yeah, we're gonna be starting in just a few minutes. We're gonna be starting Classic Gamma World. We are waiting on a couple of our players to join. The problem is, like, it's FX Network. They could literally just back a truck of money up to Universal and say, we want to use the music. Okay, thank you for the big pile of money. And then I'm over here on YouTube. I'd like to use the music. No. Okay. This is a good question. If I were to create a tabletop app for gamers, what would it be called? Okay, now I have to ask you questions, Jeremy. You have to tell me, and this may eat into game time because this is important. Thank you, Fuchsia. Is it a romantic app? Is it a hookup app? Is it I'm seeking a relationship app? I want to know. You got to tell me. Which is it? Because if it's just a hookup app, I'm going to call it the Succubus app or Incubus app. I want to be inclusive, the Succubus app or the Incubus app. If it was for something a little more serious, for serious gamers who want to find their mates, oh gosh, Danny H, it's say for half. It's let's see. Oh, Charm Person. I like that one, Rob. I like that one a lot. Dungeons and Dating. Oh, that's a good one, Jeremy. We're brainstorming here, guys. Advanced Divorce Documents and Wedding Rings, first edition. James, that's a bit of a mouthful, but I love the enthusiasm. How about 18 charisma? And you do the numbers. You do it like this. Just 18 charisma. I don't know. I don't know. I'm a little roll for charisma. I kind of like that one, but 18 charisma seems a little bit like it's, clientele is. So maybe not 18 charisma. Maybe not. Max charisma equals 12. Now, I like roll for charisma. I think that's what we should go. I think Clanner Jake's got it. Roll for charisma. Jeremy, what do you think of roll for charisma? Clanner Jake says, yeah, Wish is already taken. At my age, it's 18 wisdom. Yeah, you fill out a character sheet as your profile, I've got 18s and everything. And then you have to put your profile pic, this is my character sketch. I like it, though. I like it a lot. So we're just, at this point, we're just a few minutes away while we're waiting for our other players, Todd, and of course, Doomsword Deathmaster, and Kevin to join in. Any questions you guys have got for me? It's Friday. It just sounds like something you'd need to like get your car out. Yeah, snatch a winch, winch with an I. But yeah, as soon as those three lads get in, why, there's one of them now with an I. I mean, I think for D&D players, Eye of the Beholder is kind of nice, but no, I like Roll for Charisma. I think that's the best one. Of course, no, that's just the stories after you create a subreddit for that. Did I ever get to see Launchpad 39A up close? Yes, I got up close, but I did not autograph it with a Sharpie. They probably would have gotten irked if I had graffitied 39A. A blizzard with lightning that's pretty much end times right there. Sorry, just dealing with some stuff in the back room there. Are there character sheets or information? There are not, James. If that's something, if you guys would like that, I've been thinking about doing that, just something that folks can kind of follow along. I will discuss that with my players and see if they're okay with you guys gazing at their character sheets. And I'll have to find a way to put it up so you guys can see it. Do I think Kyle Brink helped write the DandD movie script? I mean, I think Wizards may have probably had like final edit. On basically final edit on stuff like you couldn't there's just things that they might have said, look, rule of cool or no, we don't want to do that. Look, Florida is fine. Okay, I was kidding with Volcano God and his lady today about that very topic. Florida's no weirder, no stranger, no more messed up than anywhere else. You do have to deal with hurricanes periodically, hopefully not more than one every 5 years at most. Weird stuff happens all over. Florida has what are called sunshine laws, and a sunshine law basically means that the stuff that you do, if it's illegal and you get arrested, all of that information is readily accessible by anybody, anywhere in the world. But I promise you, 100 times the weirder stuff will happen in a 6-block area in a major metropolitan coastal city than will happen over the county I live in and the next county over combined. The thing about it is, we'll put it all out in the news. Drunk man, beats up vacuum cleaner, removes clothes, assaults a power washer inside of Lowe's before he has to be tased 32 times by the police, is what you'll hear from Florida. What you'll hear from, say, I don't know, Maine, Rhode Island, Ohio, Illinois is, intoxicated or drunken disorderly man vandalizes local store, is detained by police after scuffle. And it's the same two events, but, Florida man beats up appliances, gets naked, gets tased 42 times. Greetings, Robbie. So I hope that answers your question. The weather is fantastic. Again, Volcano God, who was originally from here and now lives in Chicago, and his lady were walking along, enjoying the fact that it was near 85 degrees at sundown this evening, and I was walking my dog wearing flip-flops and shorts, and this. No, he moved up there from here, like literally just a few months ago, so he's not coming back to Florida. Miss Bella Games, good evening. It's good to see you. I mean, the thing about the toilets swirl backwards in Florida. Yes, they do. The thing about the thing about the hurricanes is we can see them coming. Okay, we can see the hurricanes coming. Like, there's a thunderstorm in West Africa. Buy bottled water, buy canned ravioli, buy plywood, get a couple of cans of gas, and get a generator for $300 from Lowe's before you turn around and they cost $900. If you're on the West Coast, you're just minding your own business. Earthquake. DandD question. 4 players encounter wizard NPC. Long story short, one of the players ends up trying to sell his soul to the wizard for a bag of holding. What, as a DM, should you do with that? Okay, so here's what I do. First of all, what level is this magic user that you're talking about? And I promise we're going to start in just a few minutes with the because we got 3 in the green room, so we'll go with what we've got. So tell me what level that magic user is. And I will answer your question. Player was a 4th level cleric. Okay, so the magic user could use quest. He could use quest, or is it quest or geas? They both mean the same thing, but they're different. They're different words. NPC was 15, but an NPC. Okay, so he should be laying. Let me check the players here. Come on. Quest is in the player's handbook. An awful lot. So it's a 5th level cleric spell. Okay, so Geas is the magic user spell. Yeah, Geas is a 6th level magic user spell. So he can cast it. I would hit them with a Geas spell. And the Geas spell would basically be I will give you this after 999 days or when you attain the level of high priest or something like that, you will return to me. And at that point, the magic user hits them with Trap the Soul. You've enjoyed the bag of holding. And because they've been gassed, they have no choice but to allow it. And let me read you the specifics of the spell. A Gaia spell places a magical command upon the creature, usually human or humanoid, to carry out some service, or refrain from some action or course of activity as desired by the spellcaster. There's no saving throw for this, by the way. The creature must be intelligent, conscious, and under its own volition. It cannot compel a creature to kill itself or to perform acts which are likely to result in certain death. It can cause almost any other course of action, and Trap the Soul is not certain death. The spell causes the Gaius creature to follow the instructions until the Gaius is completed. Failure to do so will cause the creature to grow sick and die within 1 to 4 weeks. Deviation from or twisting the instruction causes the corresponding loss of strength points until the deviation ceases. A Gaius can be done away with by a wish spell, but a dispel magic or remove curse will not negate it. Your referee will instruct you as to any additional details of a Gaius, for its casting and fulfillment are tricky, and an improperly cast Gaius is null and void immediately. That is what a Gaius spell does. So if he really wants that bag of holding and offers to sell his soul, have the magic user take him up on it. And just file that away. And then one day when that player achieves that next level, he has 1 to 4 weeks to get back to that magic user. Not a problem. All right. Are you guys ready to play some Gamma World? I'm ready to play some Gamma World. A super chatter says what? Let's play some Gamma World, guys. Let's welcome our players and say hello to the one and only Tonka Todd, who is Bogo Jorts. Blessed be his name. The beautiful but deadly 4077, played by our own Sapphire.
Hello.
The man, the myth, the dream, Rex Dashington, as performed by Yang Yan Zhao. And we lost Todd there. He'll be back. I promise.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. So as soon as Todd's back, we'll get this. We'll light this candle, Hiroshi. That's one for. That's one. What? Thank you for the super fuchsia. That is for Jeremy Rule. Let's light this candle, Hiroshi. He knows what that's about, and some of you other guys might too. Jeremy, super chat me if you caught that, just so I can see that you caught it.
Todd's back, by the way.
I see that he is back. He has come back. But is he truly back? Is Bogo Jorts with us? Speak to us from beyond, oh Bogo Jorts.
Okay.
All right, and thank you, Jeremy, for the super chat. Those are quite lovely. I appreciate that. That is very nice. Christopher Sims, all the way from a very wet SEPA. Well, if it's going to SEPA, then it's going to get wet. That was terrible. All right.
Yeah, that was a dad joke.
So last week, the party was just able to escape the clutches of the insane administrative AI in what was supposed to be a building of healing and medicine in the ruins of Lanta. Now bent on vengeance for the near maiming and mutilation of one of their own and the death of all, they have searched and sought out the lowermost levels of this building, and you stand before a chamber. There are 3 doors before you, side by side, and it is, as I said last week, one is environment, one is systems and plumbing, and the other one is main power. Main power.
Hey, Rex, can you look
Yes?
through the doors with like some scope thing that you got?
He does not have X-ray vision, no.
Yet.
Does he have thermal imaging?
Just flip flip the top of your powered armor open and stick your head into a reactor, and you might get X-ray vision.
I'm
Now,
sorry, 4077, but I can't see on the other side of a wall, even if it is thermal vision.
Okay.
Bogo walks up to our fearless leader and hands him a little coupon that he's clipped out of an ancient magazine. That's 1 free pair of X-ray glasses.
Thank you, Bogo. This will come in very handy later.
And the interesting thing about it is it doesn't require domars or gold. It just says that you have to sell something called grit. I can't be the only person who remembers Grit magazine from back in the day, right?
Does it have an address?
I remember grit. It's a kind of breakfast food I think they would have had around Old Lanta.
Mm. Does it have a handy address on it that we could find? They
Is there an
might have
address?
extras.
There is an address there.
Can
Well,
I
we'll have to track
activate
it
the
down.
suit? Can I activate the suit's GPS and
if only there were still satellites satellites in orbit. And we kid about grit, but my friend Scott, God rest his soul, got his basic and expert sets by selling grit. That was one of the things he got for selling a certain amount of the magazine Grit, and that's how he afforded it.
Of course, you know what they call grits in Georgia, right?
No.
Grits in Georgia is what they call Georgia ice cream.
Georgia ice cream. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Georgia ice cream. Yeah, no, grits are delicious, but that's obviously not what this is. So what are you guys going to do? What is your soup of the day? Darn that one, Jeremy.
Broccoli cheddar.
Broccoli cheddar. There you go.
Now, didn't we already open up the auxiliary power door last time?
You have opened the auxiliary power door and peeked in there, and those of you, and this includes both Doomsword's character and Rex in your power armor. There's some radiation emanations coming from there.
guys, I think you better take a step back.
Oh, I stood in the hall. I saw what happened in that last room.
Got a little bit of radiation in there.
Sausage likes the soup du jour. Well, that's awesome, Sausage. We like you. The soup of the day.
So what was in the room if we opened it up?
Well, it's a hallway. It is a hallway. At the far end of the hallway, there is a rather large door that looks to be sealed, and it has a wheel in the middle of it. Looks like you could turn it.
And there's no writing on the door?
There is no writing on the door. However, there is a yellow sticker with a red circle in the middle, and emanating out from that red circle are 3 pyramids.
Do I know what that means?
Oh, yeah, you've all seen that before, and it is usually accompanied by mutations and itching and burning skin.
Yeah, you don't want to go in there.
With the door shut, how much radiation am I detecting?
More than background, like, your little needle on your heads-up display is fluctuating somewhat. Folks, this may come as a great shock to many of you out there watching the stream. I'm not a physicist. I know. But we'll say that even if you weren't in the suit, it would probably be safe. Ish.
Okay. Well, if you guys want to stand back, I could try to poke my head in and see what's in there.
I'll be on the other side of the hall. I got my wings. I'm good.
All the mutation you want and more.
Bogo, you better go with her.
Bogo starts undressing.
Then once Rex sees that, he is going to quickly turn back and quickly open the door.
I grab Bogo. No, keep your clothes on and get back here. Oh.
Okay. Yeah. So Do Re Mi, and why in the 9 hells do I keep blanking out?
Numbers.
Numbers.
Yeah, numbers Rab. Thank you. I keep wanting to say Doom Sword, which is of course his user handle, or Turgo, which is his player on Tuesday night. Numbers Rab and Do Re Mi say, well, we'll cover the entrance to make sure he doesn't try and seal us up in here, or something like that. And so you're progressing inward. Is that it?
Well, sure. I'm gonna peek my head in, and keep an eye on the danger meter of the radiation, and I will see what I can see. What?
I have my scanner out too. Back by the hall in case we need to step back farther.
Alrighty.
Bogo is also pretending to be smart with just a piece of trash that he's picked up, pretending it too is a scanner.
Bogo, you have this vaguely Y-shaped piece of plastic, and are you making beeping sounds yourself as you're passing it back and forth?
Absolutely.
Next, he'll use it as a comb.
Boop, boop, boop. Okay. Rex, so you go to the far end and you open that door. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. So you clank over there, and as you put your hands on the door, you hear a voice, a familiar voice, a friendly, amicable voice, a completely reasonable voice. Oh, well, you found the nuclear reactor that powers me. Most people over the years who've I've invited to stay have been polite enough to remain. Most of them. Some of them I had to persuade. But you've located my power core, and despite your violent behavior, the only thing you've managed to break is my heart. But look, no hard feelings, none whatsoever. In fact, I'd like to give you something. You see, most of the time, if someone intrudes in such a dangerous high radiation area as this, before the event, we were able to have security show up and we were able to have security show up and escort them off the hospital property, but according to my calculations, it will require a rebuilding of civilization before an appropriate security response by humans can be mounted. In the meantime, I'd like to dispense some complimentary security drones to you. Please, take these instead. And you hear a mechanical clicking sound coming from every side.
So in the hall with the radiation, or back in the hall where everybody else is?
In the hall with the radiation. Those of you back in the hall, you all heard this too, and you're hearing it out here.
Son of a... We're going to start to...
So,
go behind the door and get things ready.
So there's those security droids. What else is in this room? Is it just a hallway that I see behind this door?
It's just a hallway. There's what looks like a garment, an all-white garment made of some filmy material, hanging on a hook.
Okay. All right. And how bad is the radiation in here?
It's jumped up a little. It's not lethal or anything like that.
Okay. When I see them coming, I will raise an arm and I will fire my mini missile launcher.
Okay.
Overriding whatever safety protocols there may be.
All right. You see a group, you see small ports near the floor, little holes begin to open up. And about 100 centimeters on a side are these hexagonal objects, and they're walking on legs like insects. And we'll say there's 6 of them, 3 on your left and 3 on your right. And they're all just a couple of meters away. Click, 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 moving towards you. Out in the hallway, we'll say that there's 6 more. Number sees one and says, "Oh, the hell with this," and fires his blaster at one of them at his feet. He kind of gets to go first because of his insanely high dex. That will actually hit. And that's more than sufficient to put the thing down. He blows a hole in it, and its little legs just kind of twitch, and it falls over. So, Rex, you've already declared. You bring up your heads-up display. You have these things marching around you. You're just going to fire your missiles right in the hall, correct?
Well, I wanted to go down the hall and hopefully blow a hole in the reactor.
The door is still closed. You got about half.
I thought I opened it.
You can still fire if you want. I'm not going to say you can't. I'm just letting you know. I'm just apprising you of the situation.
All right. Well, if the door is not open, can I switch to my laser pistol?
Yes, you can absolutely shoot one with your laser pistol.
All right.
Out in the hall, there are now, or out in the chamber that branches off, there are now 5 of these things. So, what do you wish to do?
Well, I'll try to pick one off with the laser pistol.
Well, you're already shooting one in the short hallway that leads presumably to the reactor. I mean, the player's out kind of in the lobby area.
Is it big enough that I can fly around?
No, it is not.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm a little confused, but I guess in addition to shooting, you will back up a little bit.
Okay. So Basically, you, Rex, are in a hallway that branches off of a lobby.
Okay.
You opened a door, went into the hallway, saw a door at the far end, proceeded, got the spiel from the computer, and the drones came out. Out in the lobby, there are also drones coming out. So you can shoot one of the drones in the hallway that you're in. Meanwhile, outside, 4077, what are you doing? Bogo, what are you doing?
I'm igniting my vibro blade, and I'm just going to charge at them.
Okay.
Are these? They're strictly on the ground, right? They're not flying.
They are not flying. They are on the floor.
I'm gonna take out a vibro blade to light it up, and let's go after them.
All right. Let's go ahead and roll initiative, and I will put it over to Rex Dashington. That's a 1d6, please.
Let's get out
5.
my dice.
A 5. Party goes first. Take your shot, please.
Yes.
Rex has a 10.
A 10. This thing has a fairly low armor class and it's kind of slow, so I'm going to deem that you hit it.
Yes. So that should be 5d5. Uh,
5d5 or 5d6?
Yes, 5d6 would make much more sense.
I mean, in this day and age with automated die rollers, 5d5 is certainly an acceptable amount of roll, but
9. Terrible roll.
yeah, you burn away some of its plastisteel covering there, but it's going to get its thing. Bogo, make your attack, please.
Bogo's coming out like a champ. Rolled a 14. What's up with that?
All right, and you have your vibro blade. Is it a vibro sword or a vibro blade?
It is a vibro blade, is what I have written down.
Okay.
To him, it's a sword, if that counts.
And I can absolutely believe it for him. Let's see. So, oh yeah, you neatly cut this thing in half. Just clank. Falls over.
He turns to 4077 and says, "Ninja."
I give a thumbs up.
All right, 4077, take your shot, or make your attack, rather.
It's a d20.
It is a d20.
And that's an 18.
That will hit. You cut another one in half. So there's three.
Give Bogo another thumbs up.
There's 3 left in the chamber. There's 3 left in the lobby. There are 5 in the hall. All right. Let's give the poor beleaguered AI, who just wanted friends to sit with him. I should point out that they are totally murder hoboing this. The AI just wanted to be friends.
Yeah, cutting my legs up. I don't think so.
All right.
Friends don't cut friends.
What one of the little drone things kind of hunkers down near you, Bogo, and then springs at you, but you ninja roll under it as it clatters against the wall and kind of pistons its little legs to right itself. You're not sure what it was going to do when it landed on you, but it probably wasn't good.
It was going to try to assert dominance. I just know it.
It very well may have. 4077, likewise, one jumps at you and misses. And the third one, let's see, kind of regard numbers as a big threat too. It's not a good night for the drone swarm. Yeah, numbers just pulls just kind of jerks his shoulder aside as the thing lands on the wall behind him. And Bogo, you may have been right, because the drone, before it flips itself back up and continues walking towards you, you can see a drill bit, a spinning drill bit on the bottom of it. It was, if it had landed on you, it most certainly would have tried to assert its dominance. Meanwhile, back in the hall, Rex. That is a miss. That is a miss. Oh, that one lands right on you. That's a hit. That is a miss. And you are armor class 2. Oh, wait, are you armor class 2 or 1 in your armor? I forget.
I think it's 1, but let me check. Armor class when worn is 1.
Is 1. Okay, so that actually matters. I would consider these things 4 hit die monsters. I'm letting my DandD out there. I'm going to consider these things 4 dice creatures. That's a physical attack. So we hate the edge cases. Yeah, it bounces up, but it can't maintain purchase on you. The other one lands on you. You hear a clink. And there's a brief pause, and you all hear, I probably can't cut through the armor. I know what to do. Let's see. Just got to look something up here. All right, so yeah, it says, I know what to do. And then there's an earth, well, in your case, ear-shattering kaboom. Well, it's not all that ear-shattering. That's 11, 15. That is 15 points of damage. This is a fairly high radius that this goes out. So those of you out in the lobby also take 15 points of damage. Yeah.
Son of a beehive.
I've got a force field that does 50 HP damage reduction per round.
That is correct. And to date, you have not been shot. So, yeah, your force field is now at 35. Now, if anything else was attacking you in this round, it could potentially drop your force field, but it'll be back up in the next round.
Yes.
A real quick question for you. There, is it DM in Gamma World, or would it be GM for Gamma Master?
Game Master.
Okay. So like last week, I have here in my notes that my force field went down in a previous encounter. It's still down the rest of, because this is still the same day, so it's still down, right?
Your force field is still down.
Okay, I'm just double checking. And it was 15 points.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, the drones have been battered around quite a bit. They're kind of righting themselves. And yeah, the same mellow voice, a little bit louder, says, I'm not sure if that ruptured your eardrums or whether or not you can actually hear me. However, I will keep doing that unless you'd like to get out of your armor and surrender.
Rex is going to use his turn up his external speakers and say, sorry, I wasn't paying attention. What did you say? and then he'll go back to doing his thing.
Okay. Numbers says, I'm not going to let that happen again, and takes a shot at one of the drones outside. And as it had already taken a bunch of damage, the bunch more damage he does ends it. So there are 2 drones remaining outside. Let's get declarations. Yang, there are 4 in the chamber with you now. They're kind of setting themselves. It looks like they're getting ready to leap onto you. What are you doing?
I will. So I'm going to try to back up a bit and shoot. Well, I guess I can only shoot one. So I will shoot the one.
Okay. Outside in the hall, 4077, what are you doing? There are 2 drones remaining out here.
I'm going to try to take out another drone.
Okay. And Doremi will as well. Bogo, what are you doing?
Bogo is going to load one of his 2 remaining frag grenades into his slingshot to chunk down the hallway to help out Fearless Leader.
Okay. Then why don't you go ahead and roll initiative for us, young Bogo, and let us find out what happens.
Survey says 2.
Okay. Drone is attempting to jump on 4077. Drone is attempting to jump on Bogo. 4077 is too quick, and she dodges it. Bogo is too small, and he dodges it. In the hallway, one is attempting to leap onto... Actually, several are attempting to leap onto your power armor. I have one of them I'll have to check. Let's see.
They just trying to give you machine hugs.
Yeah, they want to give you a special hug. A kablooey hug. Not to be confused with a kabuki hug.
Could the strange song "Why Can't We Be Friends" start playing on the PA systems as they hug our fearless leader?
Well, Rex, you bat a couple away, and another one lands on you, and it says, "Please remove the armor. Let me demonstrate what's going to happen to you if you don't." That is the. Don't worry. I think you. I think you'll actually survive this one, Bogo. 11 points of damage. Kaboom!
Woo-hoo! Down to 1 hit point.
1 is all you need, baby.
That's right.
Does it include the hall again?
Yes. It's a 10-meter explosion. These guys are basically walking small damage packs. Which, for those of you playing along at home, if you haven't played Game World before, a damage pack is essentially a claymore mine.
Strange they would have this in a hospital.
Well, the dark times were very grim just before the war, and
So Numbers and I get to attack the last 2 out here.
well, numbers already attacked and destroyed 1.
Okay.
So they're Do-Re-Mi will attack in this round. You're throwing a grenade, and 4077 is attacking 1. So yeah, go ahead and counterattack, and you can fire your weapon at another one, Rex.
Okay.
Oh, 20.
That will hit, and that will destroy it.
I also hit with a 20.
That will hit with
Black
my
devil dice.
That will hit, and that will destroy it.
Bogo rolled a 10 on his flinging of a frag grenade.
Okay. I think we determined that the blast radius on those is not great, so it lands in the hall and explodes. Although with the 11, and it had done 14 before. Yeah, actually, you guys, you finished them off. You're not sure if it was the explosions from the 2 drones going off or your weapons fire, but that ends them. They are broken and smoking on the floor.
Bogo holds up his pointy finger and his pinky finger on both hands. He raises his hands above his head, says "Free bird," and then just falls face first on the ground.
Yeah, Bogo is badly injured.
I'll go run, grab him, and take him out to the other room.
Okay. So you're stepping out into, well, yeah, that's right. There was kind of a lobby area before you got into this lobby area. So there's a hallway that you're able to retreat to with Bogo. What are you doing there, Rex Dashington?
Can I tell if/where the generator is in this new hallway?
Well, it's not in this hallway, but you do have a door that you were marching towards when the drones attacked.
So he'll wave back to the rest to follow him, and he's gonna at least go in the door insofar as, to check out what's behind there.
Okay. This is a much larger room, and those of you who wish to follow him, you may. This is a much, much larger room. Interestingly enough, there's a flat floor here. There's a circular mosaic in the middle of it. There is a rather complex looking crane device, something hanging from the ceiling. It's a machine of the ancients. You're not sure what it does. It has many, many arms. There is what looks like someone dressed similarly to the ancient piece of clothes you saw hanging just outside this room, sitting slumped over in the far corner of this room, and there are a few boxes, containers. They all appear to be empty, sort of scattered around it.
Okay. And the radiation in this room is livable?
It is actually pretty high.
Using my not infravision, what was the other one? Ultraviolet vision. Can I tell where in the room that radiation is coming from?
The circular mosaic is very radioactive.
Is there water or anything there?
And by the way, I will give this to you in simple Gamma World terms. It's got more than that. Come on. That's better. Yeah, it is a strength 17 radioactive hazard.
Okay.
On a scale of 3 to 18.
Okay. Gonna start backing out.
Okay.
So it's all a straight shot from that door, right?
Well, the door, I mean, yeah, you can walk across the floor from there, yes.
Well, I mean, I want to go back to that original door with the wheel that closed it. And I want to fire a missile into the circle. From there, and then as soon as I fire it, I want to close that door.
Good plan, fearless leader. Good plan.
Okay. All right. So you're going to back to the door, and you're going to fire one of your micro missiles.
Yes, but before he does, he is going to say, "Hey, computer, you're so boring. Everyone would rather die than hang out with you." And then he'll fire the missile.
All right. 4077, you hear this over Rex PA system out in the outer lobby. Numbers says, "What the hell is he talking about?"
I'm gonna grab Bogo and we're gonna get out of here because it
Okay.
sounds like he's getting rid of the problem permanently.
Out of here is into the elevator shaft, and you are going to have to start climbing.
Can I get to a window that's broken? I can take Bogo out with me.
There are no
Why?
windows. There, you are underground. There are no windows here.
Oh, we're underground. Okay, then we're gonna start climbing quick.
Okay. I should point out that you could maybe fly.
I will fly.
Okay.
I will
Bogo
fly.
Now
I
I'm
got
not
Bogo
being
with me, so I can carry him.
right. I'm not being crass, but Bogo does weigh something. You may have to shuck your armor, not your clothes. I'm just saying your armor to carry Bogo. Okay, you fire your missile.
And try to shut the door as soon as it goes off.
That is a nearly simultaneous thing. Missile arcs forward. Kaboom. I mean, it's not like it's hundreds of meters away. You know what is Rex Dashington's dexterity?
He has a whopping 13 dex.
That
He's
ain't good.
dexterous. That's awesome. That's just what he needs. What are you talking about?
All right.
That's why he wears the armor.
Okay, your missile strikes in the middle of the mosaic. You are heaving on the door. There is a loud explosion. Every radiation warning alarm in your suit starts to go off. You see your shields crackle and drop. What is your constitution, please?
13.
13.
Which is just enough.
Constitution 13. The rest of you out in the climbing up, fortunately, because you're going at a right angle and radiation loves to go in straight lines, there's going to be the inverse square rule to protect you guys, at least as long as you keep moving.
Oh, yeah, we're moving.
Oh, you lucky. There is a thunderous explosion. The last thing you see is just this awful, like, blue glow from within the room. I don't friggin' believe that. How many hit points does Rex have? Let me ask you that.
51. Currently 51 of 56.
51. Okay. You take 18 points of damage.
Okay.
You can taste metal. You like, it feels like someone has sprinkled aluminum shavings on your mouth. Your eyes feel gritty and they are burning. You are lying there. The suit has gone into traction mode. to stop you from breaking your neck and your back and your legs. But I mean, you can flip a button and get out of that really quickly. Radiation alerts going off. The door is like warped. The computer's not taunting you anymore. What are you going to do?
Flip that button to get it working, hit the afterburners, and fly up the shaft, up the elevator shaft.
Okay. Those of you going up the shaft when all this happened, you guys are, well, 4077, you were flying. Numbers and Do Re Mi were climbing, so they didn't, and like I said, they're at right angles, so it's not it's not an immediately fatal dose of radiation that they get. Rex, you see your two comrades like struggling on the ladder, and you're not sure because there's the omnipresent hum of your anti-gravities, but zooming down in on them with your optical system, you can definitely tell Numbers is yelling something at you. You're not a lip reader, but you think it could be something directed at you.
He probably wants help. So if I can, I will. Can I grab onto them and help them, like drag them up with me?
Yes, you can. You can basically grab. I mean, you have your anti-gravity system. You can basically grab them kind of by the back of their armor, because they're both wearing armor. You can grab them by their harnesses and fly up.
You're probably going to pass me.
Let's see.
Because I never had a chance to get my armor off, so I'm climbing for all I'm worth with Bogo.
I guess I'll pull us all up into that. Let's see. We were basement level 3, I think. So I'll go back up to the main floor.
Okay, you're up there. You had bashed your way through the elevator, and you can set these guys down in the lobby, or what?
I will set them down, and I will check my radiation detectors.
I mean, things are normalizing, but there is a lot more radiation now than there was in the background. You hear a thundering explosion from underneath you. Are you going to check back down the elevator shaft because you passed 4077 as she was climbing up with Bogo in his kitty carrier?
Yeah, I will look back down and yell, "Hurry!" And then I'll tell Numbers and Do Re Mi to get out the door.
Okay. When you look back down, the radiation levels are starting to spike again. The shaft is awash in radiation, and there is a burning cloud. You can very clearly see it that is pouring out of the opening from below. That's below where 4077 is.
Is it something that he thinks he would be able to survive?
Well, she's not going to survive it. If she's exposed to it.
Does he think he'll be able to survive?
You have no idea.
All right, he'll try to fly down there real quick and bring them up as well.
Okay.
I'll as soon as he gets close enough, I'll grab him so he can start hauling us up.
So Bogo's constitution is what?
It is a very heroic 14. He's a tough little bugger.
Okay. And what is 4077's constitution?
12.
12. Okay, let's see. Okay. And a heroic 14.
Yes.
Bogo, you feel a wave of sickness wash over you. You erp up, and you start to feel cold, and everything is kind of fading for you. All right, you guys are now in the lobby. Bogo is hanging there on your combat webbing, and he is not moving.
I'm going to run out of the building, and then I'm going to start performing life-saving measures using the med kit and all of my medical training to try to bring him back.
Okay. What is Rex Dashington doing at this point?
Bogo, you better thank me if I'm performing CPR on you.
Um,
It's not a kiss. It's life-saving.
I think that the cart was up there on that first floor.
It is. It is.
So he is going to try to grab that and get it out.
Easily done. You just twist the control handle and it slides right along.
Then other than that, I think he's just going to watch 4077 try to save Bogo.
Okay. So what is going to happen to Bogo? I put it to the audience. How much do you guys love Bogo Jorts? Because yeah, he's not not showing any signs of reviving. Fuchsia says, "We love Bogo." Fuchsia loves Bogo. James Hayes says, "Poor Bogo, he can't even get kissed." The reed suffers at the mercy of the wind, Clanner Jake. Vince Netterson says, "Sorry, radiation, thumbs down." Bogo needs to grow wings. TJ says, "Bogo must live." He's got a still in the holler. I say, spark him up. I'm not sure what that means, Drone Swarm, but okay. Christopher Sims said Bogo should molt. Psionically add +2 to Bogo survival roll. He sounds like a great character. I've read comic books radiation. Well, it does in Gamma World too, but it can also very much kill you dead. His dead body is radio.
You know, Bill.
I'm taking water and I'm pouring it on him.
This is a prime opportunity to let the folks in the peanut gallery know that if Bogo dies, that it is okay, because you, the peanut gallery, would get to shape the next character that I play with Super Chats.
That's very true. Because as of now, I mean, Zero is dead. Bogo had 1 hit point. Bogo took 8 points of acute radiation damage. So,
which is only fitting because Bogo is pretty cute himself.
Hulk Bogo, just by touching him, yeah. As I said, he is so radioactive that the carbon in his body is now carbon 131. Vince Netterson, yeah, just by touching him. So if you find a life ray, and there might have been one in the hospital.
There was on the upper levels, wasn't there? I think there was actually one on the first level. What? Didn't we have one that we put the body in? The skeleton?
That there was a let me see. I don't think it was a life ray.
I mean, we marked a few rooms and we know of some of them.
That is correct, but no, what you found was a rejuve chamber, which a patient still has to be alive for the rejuve chamber to work, and a couple of stasis chambers. So, unfortunately, unless you find a life ray elsewhere in the city of Atlanta, away from this now unbelievably radioactive and on fire hospital, you guys went full Chernobyl on it.
I'm going to wrap and try to, I guess, stabilize poor Bogle in his radiated state.
He's really stable. He is very stable. He is all of his vital signs are a perfect flat line. You do not get more stable than that.
So I'll quickly put him in the back seat and I'll climb in the passenger seat and say, "We gotta move. We gotta find a life chamber." Our poor little Bogo.
Yeah, he's shelf stable. You kill all of the bacteria in his body. He will not rot for a while.
Oh, poor Bogo.
Yummy mega sieverts. Okay. TJ says head to the CDC building. It's certainly possible. So there you guys go. So Tonka Todd, do you wish to roll up another character with the direction of the audience? Do you wish to wait to see if the party can find another building with a life ray, a functioning life ray in it? What do you want to do?
Well, I say let's let the peanut gallery figure up my new character, and let's let my comrades in arms here help out with the rolling too, and we'll do just like we did Bogo, where it's he's a mutant of some kind, and we'll just make the mutations really random. And if you want to roll for a mutation, that would be a super chat.
Well, that's up to you guys. If you guys want to throw some supers for mutations, that's entirely up to you. While the chat decides, yes, Grandpa Ty, this is first edition Gamma World. So while that's being decided in the chat, what is the rest of the party doing now? You have the vehicle, you have the anti-grav sled, you've put some stasis chambers and whatnot on it, and you're moving that stuff out of the hospital area. What do adventurers?
Is it possible to fill up the trunk with the stuff that's on the sled?
No, the stuff that's on the as I recall, you guys had a few odds and ends that mostly went into 4077's rucksack, but the really heavy stuff, no. But the good news is the grav sled can take tons of weight.
Is there room for Rex on the grav sled?
Yes, there is.
Okay. Then he will say to the group, I remember the ancients. There was this company, they called it, here in Old Lanta, that they said they had the elixir of life.
Do you know
we
where?
could try to find that, or we could head back to the base.
Let's try to find it. We owe it to our little beetle buddy.
I think it was called
Bogo, I'll put in the
Kohler.
back seat.
Chris Kirby, thank you for the super. Chris says, new character, random mutations. All right. Well, I think I think we can do that.
Rex will also take Bogo's vibroblade.
Okay.
Yeah, don't forget to loot Bogo's body.
Oh, Bogo is in the back seat. He's coming with everything. Poor little guy. We're gonna see if we can fix him up.
Ooh, could y'all maybe taxidermy and then make him be the hood ornament? That would be awesome.
Oh my god, that would be so wrong on so many levels. Oh my god. Oh yeah. So any new character that comes along, you see that? Yeah, that's what we do when you don't behave.
First, Chris, thank you very much for the super. If I didn't say thank you. And also, Fuchsia, there was no ante. It wasn't an ante, my friend. Nixon had it in a jar like on Futurama. Oh my gosh. All right, so now I'm gonna leave the actual characteristics rolling to Todd because that's his character. But we're gonna roll some random mutations here, and
I think the supers get to roll for mutations, maybe.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah. And I tell you what, if Fearless Leader and ex-mom, because I'm dead now. So ex-mom, if y'all want to roll up some numbers just for my stats, I say we just make the whole thing random like that.
However you guys want to do it. So let me see here. How many mutations? Let's see. Determining mutations. We'll look at that. Physical strength mutations. So what we're going to do is, since Fuchsia and Chris Kirby both had that, do you guys have some percentile dice to hand to roll up the mutations? Roll your percentile dice, and I will tell you what mutations he gets. They could be defects. They could be awesome mutations.
That's how I got my wings.
That's right.
Wasn't Red Bull.
Oh, let me scroll down real quick.
YOLO, the sister of Bogo. Nice, Robert. Oh, Chris, do you want me to roll for you? I do have 100-sided dice. It's one of the demon dice. It's black with red numbers.
All right, so there, Chris, just let us know. Let's see. First way is for the character to roll a single 4-sided die twice to determine the number of physical and mental mutations. One determination for each roll. Todd, do you want to do that, or do you want to give that to somebody?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. That way we know. So
Okay.
I roll a D4 twice, correct?
E4 twice. The first one will say physical.
Okay, 1.
Okay, 1 physical mutation. Okay, roll it again for mental mutations.
God, I'm so afraid right now.
You're gonna wind up with
3. Of course, 3. Of course.
Okay, so we have 4 mutations on the table. Chris, as you are the first bidder, as Chris is the first bidder, do you want physical or mental mutation? You get first pick. There's 1 physical mutation, 3 mental mutations. If you wish to pass to Fuchsia, it's Fuchsia's choice. Otherwise, Fuchsia will take what is left.
And I can roll for you if you want me to do a physical dice.
Why don't you go ahead and roll the percentage for Chris, since he's
right.
said yes, and then depending on what he says. Fuchsia says he'll. Okay, Fuchsia wants to spectate. Past a few.
That was rolled.
Oh my gosh, we're stuck in a loop. Well, then, what'd you get? Just tell us what you got.
100.
100. That is pick any mutation, and here are the mutations. That is awesome. So here are the mutations: attraction odor. That is a defect. Body structure change, also a defect. Chameleon powers, density control. Diminished sense, which is a defect. Double physical pain, that is a defect. Electrical generation. Fat cell accumulation, that's a defect. I really don't want to read this one. Oh my God, I don't want to read this one.
How about I rolled a 13, so we don't have to like go through and just handpick. I'll roll a 13.
No, you have to hear them all. We
Yeah.
have to.
You have to hear them out.
It's been paid for. You have to hear them all.
Gas generation, Musk. Oh,
I hope you picked that one.
It's a gland. No, he gets to pick. He gets to pick. This is the fun.
heat generation, heightened balance, heightened constitution, heightened dexterity, heightened hearing, heightened precision, heightened smell, heightened strength, heightened taste, which I think could be a defect with all the crap you guys have to eat. Fuchsia's, thank you again for the super fuchsia. Super fuchsia. That sounds like one of those advanced paint colors. That's like the most fuchsia of all colors. Heightened touch, heightened vision, hemophilia, which is a defect, increased metabolism, which is a defect. Poor dual brain. Increased speed, infravision, light generation, multiple body parts, new body parts. No resistance to bacteria, no resistance to poison, no sensory nerve endings, oversized body. Oh God, please no. Partial carapace, which is what he had, or did you have total carapace?
Yeah, I had total carapace.
Yeah, total carapace. You were a little cockroach. Yeah. Photosynthetic skin, which is not a disadvantage, but I have read up on photosynthetic skin, and like when you're in the dark, you actually go slower.
Glow. Oh, don't you glow though too? So
no.
much for hiding.
Physical reflection, poor respiratory system. You want asthma? You want to just say your character is normal, except he has asthma? Quills or spines. Radiated eyes, regeneration, shape change, shorter, skin structure change, which is a defect, sonic attack ability, symbiotic attachment. Oh, that's disgusting too. Your Dominus thing can get really creepy. Taller.
We could surgically attach Bogo's dead body to the new guy.
Oh, that is just wrong on so many levels.
That's horrible. I will quit. I will I will play Advanced Squad Leader on Fridays if you try that. Symbiotic attachment, taller, total carapace, ultravision, which unlike infravision, ultravision is like light amplification. Vision defect, guess what? That's a defect. Weight decrease, and wings. So there you go.
Okay. Well, there are three that I'm really kind of interested in. One is the oversized body part.
Oh.
The other is the I have written down skunk for the for the aroma gland, and the last one is regeneration. But it's really, for me, it's a toss up between oversized body part and skunk.
You don't want wings, really?
Well, I mean, we've already got somebody with wings.
You're not going to join the ranks of the flying in this group?
Here's what oversized body parts are. God have mercy on my soul. This constitutes a beneficial increase in size to a certain body part, which gives that part a corresponding increase in power. Jim, why have you done this to me?
Hellboy! Hellboy!
Larger eyes for greater vision, longer legs for greater speed. Only one part of a being's body part may be so affected.
He wants to be Hellboy.
So, Peanut Gallery, what y'all think I should have oversized body part, and y'all pick the body part, or should we just go with some skunk glands and make a stinky boy?
Oh my God.
I beg of you, if any of you are true fans of this show, please don't do the drone swarm. Huge heart. Yeah. Dies of an nose.
He's not riding in the car. I'm telling you that.
A giant butt. Dungeon Minister took us just a huge butt. Immune to poison with an oversized liver. And we still have 3 mental mutations to get, guys.
Oh my God. Oh, these are going to be even better.
And the other one he's tickling at, gas generation, musk. This gives the mutant a gas or musk gland, much like a skunk. The mutant may expel this musk or gas, causing repulsion, unconsciousness, or even death in beings at which it is directed. Range 10 meters. Suggestions: obscuring gas, irritating gas, paralysis gas, poison musk, blinding musk, and so on.
Wow.
James, I'm with you, James. I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm too. Make my life a whole lot easier. He can regenerate. I don't have to heal his ass.
Here comes mystery men.
I think, man, I'm really.
If you take a regen, you're in the car. Otherwise, you're in the back with Rex.
This is so hard to choose from between oversized body part and skunk.
I'm seeing a lot of people,
because you've got 3 mental to come.
I'm seeing a lot of people. Yeah. There's a big underground support for just regeneration.
You got mental coming. It's gonna be bad.
Yes.
All right. I'll take regeneration to make the Peanut Gallery happy.
Okay. Well, I mean, some people were saying people were saying enlarged body part. Some people were saying musk. All right. So
you get to ride in the car, at least right now. Unless you're a stabby, and then you're still with Rex.
Okay.
Gotta keep the windows open, guys.
So regeneration just this allows a being to heal himself and replace lost hit points. 1 hit point is regenerated per 5 kilograms of body weight per day. So I mean, if you weigh 100 kilograms, that's 20 hit points in a day.
Nice.
Okay.
Sweet.
So regeneration. Now, may God have mercy on us all. Mental.
We have 3 of these to do.
3 of these to do. All right. So some percentile dice. Again, Fuchsia and Chris have first right of refusal, but I think they have passed on it. So I am going to roll. I'm going to roll these.
Okay.
The first mental mutation is 54. Magnetic control.
Cool.
Second mental mutation.
You might be in trouble, Rex. You got that armor on.
No, Charles. Now is our time. That's my best I can do. 83, I said 83. Telekinetic arm. My God, this is Magneto. And the third mental mutation is 007. Is this do we finally get a defect here? No, cryokinesis. You are quite OP. So let's start with cryokinesis. Cryokinesis.
How do you spell that?
CRYOKINESIS.
CRYO.
KIN.
What is that?
Cryo.
KIN.
ESIS.
ESIS. Okay.
Kinesis.
This is the ability to cause matter, living matter, water, or anything else that will freeze to suffer cold damage and possibly freeze solid at my discretion. On the first turn, 1d6 of damage is done, and through undisturbed concentration, up to 10 dice of damage may be inflicted on the 10th melee turn by a mutant with cryokinesis. The effective range of this mutation is 25 meters. You have a freeze rate.
We have a tank and a superhero here. What the hell?
All right, telekinetic arm. Oh, don't worry. You've got some interesting stuff coming.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
This mutation manifests itself as a 20-meter-long human arm, complete with hand, capable of doing anything a normal human arm and hand can do, with a strength of 18. To function, it must always be visible to the mutant. This arm cannot be hit by non-powered weapons, while powered weapons will do normal damage to the mutant if they hit this arm.
Okay.
And finally, what was the last one?
Magnetic control.
Yeah, he's Magneto.
Which I think is probably pretty accurate. Oops. Blew past it there. This is the power through the control of magnetic fields to repel, attract, or utilize any inanimate ferrous object. The effects on powered objects are to be determined by the referee. Treat any object to be controlled as having a mental resistance of 12 to determine whether control is successful. There is no weight restriction, and the mutation has a range of 100 meters. Magnetic control lasts for up to 25 melee turns and may be used once every 24 hours.
So you can't constantly move around Rex, but for a
Yeah.
while you can.
So 25 melee turns, or a little less than half an hour. So there you go. There's your mutations, and you will, you can roll up your stats as normal and create a new character, which we will introduce in another session, I think, because we are down a couple of players.
They're going to be shocked.
They are going to be shocked. Can he lift himself up on a piece of metal? That's an interesting question. I would say so.
I'm going to use a med kit on... I'm assuming I'm the worst injured, or no?
Everybody kind of got bashed around by the explosions, but you were kind of at ground zero, so you've taken a little bit more damage.
So I'm going to use it on myself.
Okay.
I'm going to use 1, and that'll leave me 1.
All right.
The
What
healer
is
goes
Rex?
down, the healer can't help anybody else.
What is Rex up to?
That's a good question. So he'll turn to the group and say, "Do we have any contacts in this city? Someone who might know what we're looking for?"
Yeah, we've got a human group, if they're still there.
Yes, there were some tribesmen that you had met a couple of days ago before you.
One of them proposed to me.
Excellent.
Oh, excellent. Thank you very much.
Perhaps they will know where to find this elixir.
So, yeah, we'll Numbers usually is driving, so with our cart and Rex on the back, and poor little dead Bogo in the back seat with Do Re Mi. I'm shotgun and Numbers is driving. We'll go back, see if they're still there.
I feel sorry for Do Re Mi. He's the one stuck with the corpse in the back seat.
You're on the deck in the back, like the dashboard.
Guys, remember to seat belt in Bogo's body.
At this point, Do Re Mi, just as you guys are slowly meandering down the ruined streets of Lanta, Do Re Mi just carefully climbs out of the back of the convertible and walks along the trunk, steps on the trailer hitch, and is sitting. He's like, I'm not sitting next to that radioactive pill bug.
So he's next to Rex in the back between the stasis chambers.
Yeah, he's basically he's sitting astraddle one of the stasis chambers.
While we're on the road, Rex is going to power down the armor. He's still in it.
Okay.
But he's got it in power down mode.
Okay.
Save some juice.
Power save mode. Does Bogo get a new name? Well, I mean, who Todd chooses to name his character because, I mean, outwardly, by all appearances, he's not, his physical mutation was regeneration. So at a glance, he looks like a pure strain human. We need a wake for Bogo. I think at this point, as Todd has to dice up his new character, see what starting gear he's got and where the party's going to encounter him. And we're down a couple of players. I think we can just kind of go into chat mode now and talk about tonight's game. I mean, normally, we would play until 11 Eastern, but I think we can just kind of, pull up and pull up to rest.
Show? Let
the engine cool a while and do a little bit of after show. Todd should name his new character Fafo. That's entirely between you and Todd. Let's see. And I mean, IRL, like we meet up at a bar in OKC or something, you propose next. Yeah, that's I'm not going to ask you guys for a GoFundMe to have a wake in Fuchsia. If you end up moving to Florida, we'll definitely crack a tube.
Actually, you know what would be great, Bill, is if when BillCon happens, when the live in-person BillCon happens, we could have a wall of memoriam that's died.
Oh, yeah.
How cool would that be?
It's not BillCon. It's not, AKA BillCon. It's got an official name.
It is if it happens, and that's
Guac.
Guac, Great Underground Overland Gaming Convention, and
Nickname, Bill Con.
Guac, oddly enough, is
Unofficially.
Latin. Guac is Latin meaning Billcon, so we've got all bases covered.
You know, it would be great if you got like Tostitos to sponsor that.
I don't think they're gonna kick in for some random.
Hey, we can offer it to Tostitos, Frito-Lay. How many other companies make
sponsorship.
salsa? There's got to be at least 3 or 4 of them.
Just find out who the chip sponsor. I think Golden Flakes is the chip sponsor for the SEC. Tell them you're a Bama fan. I'm a Hog fan. Come on.
Oh, wait a second now. I thought you'd given up on your beloved Razorbacks.
Well, I say that at the end of every season.
Oh, okay. So you must say it really, really often then.
Every year.
Planner Jake said, in memorial of Bill's victims, some of them don't know how to load dice. Mid-journey images of all the past characters, yeah. Family's calling, got to run. Thank you, Fuchsia. Thank you for hanging out tonight.
I really enjoyed reading all of those mutations.
The mutations are fun. The mutations are very fun.
Don't y'all wish
when I
I
rolled
would
that
have
100, I'm out like it's either really good or really bad. I don't know which.
I'm sorry, you were saying, Todd?
I was saying I'm kind of fat and already written it down. I wish I should have just picked the skunk thing. That would have been awesome.
Well, I think regeneration is probably a good one too.
Oh, it's awesome.
But here, for those of you who are curious, by the way, are you talking about the Great Underground Overland Gaming Convention, which we will do if my channel ever hits 10,000 subs. I will make some kind of arrangement to do an in-person convention. And there'll be badges and everything. I'll make it official. You need a little bit of Skrilla to get in, but I gotta pay for the venue and that sort of thing. But it's a long.
He's gonna convince me to do the chainmail bikini thing.
Yes, we will have Safi in a chainmail bikini at the con. But yeah, we're at 4,247 subs. We actually little off from last night, but I get it. Some channel might not be for everybody. I totally understand. I hope you were entertained while you were here. And
tell your friends. Tell your friends.
Tell your friends. Tell your parents. Your grandparents.
Tell your friends to
make accounts for your grandparents and sub them.
Your coworkers.
Yep. Tell your friends. Tell your enemies. Tell your enemies that they get a leg up on you if they subscribe to my channel. That I'll reveal secrets on how to get one over on you if they subscribe. But tell your friends' parents. You and the hats. You two girls. Lake Wazapamani.
Or you could like the video, share the content, and subscribe.
That's always good.
Right. Like and subscribe. I always appreciate a like and subscribe. For a good time, subscribe to, yes, exactly. For a good time, subscribe to this channel. And before I forget, I want to thank everyone who super chatted tonight. We're not done yet. There's still plenty of time for you to suggest something funny by a super chat. But no, it's wonderful, and I greatly appreciate it. And you can all rest assured that it is absolutely going to a good cause. So YouTube, not to get off into this, but YouTube has a very they have a weird way of paying. They're like, okay, we pay you next month for this month. That's not that strange. You know, they want to get everything, but they're like, it's from the 21st to the 21st. So if you're, and they have a threshold, they have a set threshold. If you don't hit that threshold, we don't give you your money. So you could have $99.99 in your account and they're not going to release it. Here's the more frustrating thing. You got $99.99 in your account from the 21st to the 21st. On the 22nd, somebody comes into your channel and super chats you $1,000. Well, that comes on the next month. So you got to wait another month for that to come in. It's kind of BS. It's kind of BS.
Well, do they finally pay out that original amount they've been holding when you finally reach their threshold?
Oh, yeah. So
they're not like, scamming you. They're just holding it extra to earn the interest off of it.
I just don't like their payment system.
Yeah, that's bogus, but
yeah,
at least you finally get it. It just might take forever, but
yeah, and it's just like Clanner Jake says. YouTube is holding the money and making interest on it, and Grandpa Ty said they've been sitting on $40 of his for years and years. I didn't know you had a channel, Grandpa Ty. In fact, everybody click on his link and go subscribe to it. Go watch his videos and get him that last $90 to make them pay. I agree with you, Chris. They should. But anyway, to get away from the business.
Before I forget, Bill, you should add two things then to the Discord. One is like a channel just for other people to share their YouTubes and such. So we have the links. And the second one is GaryCon events for people that are going to GaryCon to coordinate and that kind of thing.
Well, there's a GaryCon Discord, and anyone clips and highlights off topic wherever you want to put your link, just not in the show, because it can be it can be a little confusing sometimes when people share links that aren't my show in the show. I don't mind if people share links to other videos as long as it's not like to a video like, hey, Bill Sylvie sucks. And there was actually a video like that. So some guy with a DandD channel took a tweet of mine from back like last April, and all I did was copy and paste someone's Facebook post where they were talking about the sad state of DandD, and this guy just like did a whole video about little old me and what a meanie head grognard I am. More YouTube for you. Hey, welcome back, Fuchsia. Yeah, so Grandpa Ty mentions that he used to be monetized once upon a time, and then they changed the whole show. What, like, literally months before I started a YouTube channel, and I didn't know they changed it. Fuchsia, yes, there will be more Call of Cthulhu. Now, I haven't decided if it will be classical 1920s, 30s Cthulhu, or if I will do Delta Green Call of Cthulhu, or even Cthulhu by Gaslight set in the 1800s. But it will happen in October. We will run a 4-session mini campaign of Call of Cthulhu.
I'm excited.
Good. I'm glad. But anyway, to quote the late great Julian Beck, "You're all gonna die." Anyway, God, what a talented actor that man was. Yeah, so it used to be you could hop on YouTube and immediately just turn a switch that said monetize, and you'd start making money immediately. You could start making money with YouTube. And then this thing happens, which some YouTube creators called the adpocalypse, that had something to do with AdSense. I'm still not 100% sure about it, but basically they said, well, we're now changing it to where you have to have 1,000 subscribers and you have to get approved. You can't just make money through click-throughs, because people were abusing the system. And I suppose they probably were. But the net result is that people who had just kind of motored along, like Grandpa Ty, getting a little bit of scratch here and again from YouTube. Oh, that's nice. That's gas money. That's good. That'll buy me, that'll help with a light bill this month or whatever. They woke up one morning and their channels were all vastly demonetized. And in a nutshell, YouTube said, get good and get 1,000 subs. And the net result of that was that a lot of people just said, screw this, I'm gone, which is exactly what YouTube wanted them to do. They didn't want to be standing out there handing off, $5 a month to you, $13 a month to you, $22 a month to you, $40 to you, Grandpa Ty. Ads are an inherently abusive system anyways. Yeah. So that was this thing that happened. And I got onto YouTube like literally months after it happened, when I started doing stuff semi-regularly on YouTube, because I thought you could still go on YouTube and just say, oh, I want to be monetized. I want to turn it on. But people are like, yeah, no, dude, that gate closed and you're on the outside of it. It's an exclusive club and you ain't in it. But through persistence, through spreading the word, through the assistance of you guys in the audience, of other YouTubers, some of whom are in the audience, you guys helped spread the word and you got me up over that hump. And I am eternally grateful. And then, back in January, Wizards shot themselves in the foot. And that is why I picked up almost 3,000 more subscribers from the 1,500 I had before all this went down. You wonder how much that Mr. Beast fellow makes on YouTube. So this is my understanding. Now, I don't know. YouTube is a culture unto itself. You can make YouTube videos about people on YouTube and make a lot of money. And get a lot of hits just by saying, oh, Mr. Beast dropped a video where he's sending 1,000 people to an eye clinic to get their eyes, and let's watch that. And then it just sits in a corner and they're like, wow. Oh, wow. That's kind of not something that I want to do, but Mr. Beast, he is literally emptying out his YouTube as fast as he makes money. He spends the money on other people. And some people think that's great. Some people think that's terrible.
So he's like a rock star.
Kind of.
Has nothing to show for it, but burns through lots of funds.
Hey, back in our green room chat, Todd suggested his character's name is Captain Weirdo. We
came up with a new one for him.
You came up with a new.
He's kind of coming up with a nickname for it because he thinks it's a mouthful.
I'm taking part of what y'all suggested, and I'm going to use that as his middle name.
Okay. We got to be careful with flux capacitor because that could get picked up.
We could spell it a different way.
Let's see. Clanner Jake says, Watsy expanded so many people's channels. Hasbro being able to just spread that news and far wise. Streisand effect, yeah. Fuchsia says, Bodie McBoatface. Again, what you guys want to call the character, I leave between you and the player. And if someone plunks down cold hard Skrilla and says, I want it to be Bodie McBoatface, then guess what? No, I'm not going to let you super chat something that silly. That was the most ridiculous thing. It's like, we'll let the internet decide. Had these people never heard of the internet before? And the ship got named Bodie McBoatface.
You know what would be great, Bill? I just had this idea. If I gave his full name and then let the peanut gallery marinate on it, and next Friday let him super chat what his nickname would be.
You know, I leave that up to you guys. I will absolutely leave that up. TJ said it could have been Pepe Le Pew. Yes, it could have.
It's funny. I actually had as soon as he said skunk gland, I wrote down Pepe.
Dodged a bullet. Just dodged a bullet.
That mutation is so close to what I do anyway. It's just it was a little scary.
Oh my god, that is so wrong.
I could definitely see you trying to get this character killed off so you can create another character to see if you can get that mutation again. Come on, baby, 1 chance in 100. Let's go.
Give me skunk glands. No whammies. No whammies.
Actually, better than that. It's like a 1 in 84 chance because like 85 on are like the you pick 2 or pick any non-fatal, any non-dangerous defects.
Okay, I think that's dangerous to me.
Yeah.
Because technically you said one of the effects was death.
Yeah. I mean, I could see him like lying there, gut shot. Bill, can I do one more thing before I die? Sure. I hold up my hand to the robot and say, "Pull my finger."
And I would totally do that too.
I can totally see you doing that. Absolutely.
Oh my god.
TJ asks, "How is your French accent, Todd?"
My French accent is not so good,
It's outrageous, don't you know?
Now leave, or I shall taunt thee for a second time.
I don't want to hear you try to sing Ferrajaka.
All right, Lux is heading out. I think we're probably going to wrap up here this evening, guys. Listen, thank you again, everyone, for all the supers. This was loads of fun. For something like that, James, I might just bend the rules a little bit. If it smelled that bad.
It causes rust. Mechanical failure.
Paint peels.
Thank you, Mike Dymart. It has been a fun show tonight. But anyway, so we will be back Monday with more fun content. I'm going to work on some stuff for you guys, for not you guys, the players, although I do that. But you guys, the audience, will have some more video to show you guys. And of course, and always, until then, everybody be good. I love you all. I really do. I mean it. I appreciate it. And we're just going to roll those closing credits. So have a wonderful evening, and keep your stretchy arms ready. Good night, everyone.
Later, peeps.
Good night.
Bye.
Uh-oh, something went wrong.
Huh.
Something went wrong with the closing credits. Okay, folks, no closing credits tonight. We'll just go ahead and wrap. I'll troubleshoot, because what is a show without technical defects? I'll see you guys later. Peace.